Hi, I chose Chapter 8 of Getting to Yes, which is the chapter on what if they use dirty tricks. And I think this follows right back with S's quote on page 47. In politics, as in everything else, it makes a difference whose game we play. The rules of the game determine the requirements for success. This falls right into working with people who are playing dirty tricks. Uh, Getting to yes tells us that there are two common responses to the dirty tricks in bargaining. The first one is to put up with it and hope that the next time around they're going to let you win. This, of course, is a really bad position to take because the next time around, what they're probably going to say is, hey, this guy gave in last time. I can bully him into giving in this time, no problem. They're never going to let you win. The second response, and this one is totally human nature, is to do it right back to them. Hey, you're going to play this game with me. I can play this game. I'm going to do it right back to you. In which case, neither side is going to win. You're both going to lose out. When it comes down to it, there are 3 steps to bargaining with a person who's trying to use tricky tactics, as the book calls it. The first is learn to spot the tactics right away. This is what you want to do. Hey, is this making me feel uncomfortable? Are these people making personal attacks on me? Does this seem like it's too good to be true? We got some game playing going on here. If it seems like a game, it probably is a game. And that leads to the second one. Go ahead and call them out on it. If you think there's dirty tactics being played, go ahead and call them out. There's no need to be nasty about it. You can say, hey, I'm really getting a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling about this, or I may be wrong, but is this what you're trying to do here? 9 times out of 10, that's going to stop them dead in their tracks. It'll kill it right away. You can get on better footing. The last one is you really should negotiate the rules up front. Just like with any other negotiation, you want to make sure you're concentrating on the problems, not the persons. This isn't personal. We want to make things fair and equitable for everyone, so we want to use fair rules that are not personally motivated. Focus on the positions, not your interests. Goes right back to being motivated there. And insist on using objective criteria. And if it comes down to it, you can go right back to chapter 6 and right into the BATAN, the BATAN from chapter 6 works really well for setting up rules too. And if it needs be and they're not willing to set up fair and equitable rules, then this is a negotiation you want to be in the first place and you can just walk out. Some common tactics that are found in people that use dirty tactics are the deliberate deception. This would include phony facts, ambiguous authority, which means the person doesn't even have the authority to negotiate with you and make a decision, and dubious intentions, which I call the bad faith. They're not intending to keep any of the agreements they're setting up with you. There's also psychological warfare, stressful situations. What's the environment like where you're going to be negotiating? Is this going to be a calm and quiet and good place to negotiate? Are you going to be able to work things out and take as long as you want here? You want to set up something that's good for both of you. You don't want to let them get into personal attacks. Don't let them make you feel like you're not worth their time or to run you down. You also don't want to let them run the good guy, bad guy on you. I think we all know what this one is from watching movies. One person plays the hard line, the other person says they're playing the fair game and the soft line, but really they're just soft pedaling you the same junk under a different set. Threats. Threats and warnings are a really bad situation to get into. People that use them, threats, are really drawing a line in the sand and backing themselves into a corner. Because really, if you call them on it, they're either going to have to follow through or they're going to have to say, yeah, okay, I didn't really mean that, and turn around. Now, warnings are something else altogether, according to our book. Warnings are when you're letting the person know that, hey, this is the consequences if we can't reach an agreement here. They're not applicable in every situation, and really you want to stop and think about it before you use them and say to yourself, is this something I'd want to be informed of if I was on the other side? And then there is the position pressure tactic. The refusal to negotiate. If somebody refuses to negotiate, you'd really want to look into that a little further. Why are they refusing to negotiate? Ask them, is there something you can do that's within reason, of course, that'll make this better and will allow you to work with them and negotiate. Make sure that you're using principles and that they're using principle play at all times. The extreme demands. Uh, this can be either high or low, good or bad. If they're going to one end, this can really work against them because you could just turn around and say, hey, what, this person isn't serious. They're not really serious about negotiating with me here. I'm just going to kill the whole deal. If you think they are just playing a tactic on you, though, you might want to say, hey, listen, I know what you're doing. Let's cut it out right now. If you're really serious about this, then let's start over again, and you can show me why maybe you think, if you have some good reason for thinking this is why it should be this extreme, then hey, cool, I'll listen to you. If not, then we need to really stop this now. Escalating demands. This is where somebody is basically playing games with you. They'll say, fine, I'll give in on this point, but then I want you to give in on the next point, or we're going to go back and relook at something else, and I want to totally rediscuss this whole thing and get my way on it. They're trying to control the whole situation. They're trying and hoping that you're going to come out and say, okay, I'm tired of this. Let's just do it your way. I don't care. I need to get this over with. This is too confusing. You really need to call somebody on this tactic right away and say, let's go back and look at the rules. We set this out at the beginning. And if you can't abide by the rules, then this negotiation is over. The locked in tactic, again, is the drawing the line on the bottom of the sand. All they're really doing is backing themselves into a corner, and they either have one of two options. They're going to lose out in the whole deal negotiation and say you're going to walk away, or they're going to have to swallow it and say, well, wait a minute, that wasn't really my line in the sand. Let's talk about it a little more. The hard-headed partner. This goes right back to authority. If you've got a partner somewhere that's not going to agree with what we're negotiating here, then I need to be talking with them, not with you. The calculated delay. You'll see this happening a lot of times with unions and management, where you'll have a deadline coming up for a strike, let's say, and one side will tell the other side, let's just keep waiting and waiting, and that strike's coming up, and hoping that at the last minute you're going to cave in because you don't want to strike, or hoping at the last minute you're going to cave in because your union can afford to sustain a strike. These often don't work out to anybody's benefit. All they're going to do is have both sides end up being a loser, and you're going to end up right back at the negotiation table again. And the take it or leave it. The take it or leave it is one of my favorites because I've actually been on the other side of the take it or leave it before, and I use a tried and true method, which is the walk away. If somebody's giving you a take it or leave it, all you have to do is walk away. If that really was their bottom line, they can't go any further, then this deal wasn't one you could sustain anyway. If it isn't, they're going to come after you right away with the, oh, wait a minute, maybe I can do better. Let's try to negotiate again. The end of the chapter was entitled Don't Be a Victim, and I think this just sums up what the whole chapter is about. Don't let yourself be a victim of bad play, unfair play, unprincipled negotiations. Learn to recognize it, learn to be okay with calling people out on it, and don't be afraid to walk away. If these people are unprincipled, then you're not going to reach a negotiation end anyway, and you're going to end up not dealing with them. Don't waste your time. I hope this has been an informative video, and I can't wait to see your comments on it. Thank you.